Hello guys, sorry for the delay, but I had some issues with the streaming service, and so it took me a bit to figure it out. Sorry for the delay, but I had some issues with the streaming service, and so I think I have my window open. Sorry for the echo. I have a window open with my stream, so I'm listening to myself. Okay, so I had to change, for some reason I had to change the setup from YouTube Stream Now to YouTube Events. I don't know exactly what is the difference, but okay, so so we are live. Thank you for waiting. I didn't have a lot of time to actually advertise the stream because I was busy with this debugging, trying to fix the stream data and such, but I think it should be fine now, right? So give me 1 second. I'm just going to Facebook and Twitter and the other usual places, so where I can advertise the stream and get some people in. It will take me a second. So I just build up the usual string and post it on Twitter. I'm tweeting it now. Posting it on Facebook. And yeah, so it takes me a few seconds to do it. So posting it on Facebook right now. And I also want to post it in, okay, so this one is done, and posting also on Discord. I posted in the Unreal channel, which I mean, it doesn't attract a lot of people, but attracts some people, so I think it's good. And then I posted in our internal I think the second link is broken, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And then I post it internally as well. Okay, so all our people know, our players know that we are live. I'm still working on it. Why the second one doesn't show up? Because it needs HTTPS at the beginning for some reason. Okay, now it showed up. Okay. Good. Okay, I think we are now fully up and running. Okay, so what were we doing the last time? Well, the last time we were really into combat, and the good news is that after I left you, I still spent a bit of time, not much time, but I still spent a bit of time on the attack code. And if you remember, we had kind of a comment here in the code which was saying that we could extend the movement operation and chase operation to be a bit more proper, and actually I did it because without it, the NPC was moving very bad, and now the NPC is moving better. So what I did, I did an override of the chase operation advance, which was not existing before. And this chase operation advance is pretty simple. So apart from printing out something just to know that we are executing this part of the code, we are just getting the position of the NPC, which is our end position, updating our target, and then we are just using the move to actor, right? So this means that everything is much more smooth now. So if I can show you, if I launch server and client, assuming my database is up, I think it is. And okay, see, we have some viewers on, but okay, it seems that the actual chat is not working as expected. Let me try to restart the stream chat. Okay, now it's connected. Okay, I think, let me say hello in the chat. We are streaming both in Twitch and YouTube. So it took me a bit because the YouTube one was not working as I wanted. But now I should be live on both sides. At least that is what the application is telling me. So if we connect to the server with our client, assuming that the server goes up, yeah, let me check. Yeah, the server is up. So now the difference is that the client, yeah, the first time it takes a bit more because there is a bit of caching going on and a bit of stuff going on in the background, but the first time it takes a bit more. But now when I attack an NPC, it will chase me properly. Even if I move, quickly, I move around the level, I do like sharp edges, whatever, it will follow me properly. So that's working okay. That part is working fine. He's still trying to attack me in a bit of a weird way. That's mainly due to the animations. The animation side, not yet, properly set up. I mean, fully set up. We have the movement, which is smooth, but the attack is still using the old animations, and it's not very good. So, so if I attack this guy, I forgot to make me visible. So now I'm visible. Okay, so you see he's trying to attack me. I mean, again, the animation is not great, I know, but don't care about it at the moment. So if I run away, apart from the messages at the top, you see that he follows me seamlessly. So he doesn't stop, it doesn't take stupid direction like he was taking before. So it's just following me seamlessly, and then when he reaches me, he's actually stopping and trying to attack me. I mean, the direction, the facing of the character is still a bit, not too good, but if I go away, it starts to chase me. Okay, so the only problem that we have at the moment is that when he stops, it takes 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, you see, before he starts to attack me. Why? Because our brain tick at the moment is at 3 seconds. So he stops, 1, 2, 3, and then he attacks, hopefully. If it doesn't, means that there is something else going on in his brain. Maybe he doesn't have the stamina, or there is some other reasoning why it's not doing it. Let me see if I see anything. No. Okay, it's fine. This mice face the enemy is pretty weird. Yeah, he starts to chase me. So basically, I think it is working okay. We just need to improve, this where he stops, because at the moment he stops very close to me. So you see, he stops like really, really, really close. I think we should have, I don't know, a distance of 1 meter or 2 meters. I don't know. I think you should stop like. Yeah, I think this should be a reasonable distance. I don't know how much is that, but I think it's like 1.5 meters, 2 meters, 1.5 meters. I think this distance would be fine. Now, we still have to decide if we want to have, a kind of a real collision between the animation and the character or not. Maybe not. If I do something like this, well, he's trying to attack me anyway, so think if I stay in range, he's still chasing me, but he's attacking me. So I think it's okay. I mean, we just have to improve a bit the way the animations are transitioning. And this distance is definitely not okay. Now, to fix the distance is not too much of a problem. I think that the code has an acceptance range. I think we said the acceptance range is 2 meters. So I think we can have, I think it is in the move to actor, right? The move to actor has a default acceptance range, which at the moment is -1. So it basically tries to go, I think the acceptance range. So if I add here acceptance range, we can see what it does. And then the other ones are stop on overlap, which should be true. Yes, absolutely. Use pathfinding should be true, is true already. Can strafe through, etc. Okay, there is a lot of parameters, but we don't really need. I think the only thing we need to put in is this acceptance range and see how. The only problem is that if he stops at acceptance range, and here we are checking if we reach the position if we use the same acceptance range, then we may get in trouble unless we do something like this. And hopefully it's not like 1 millimeter away, but yeah, let's say that the check should always be, I don't know, we can try to do it this way, which is like precise, but I don't think that precision is rewarding in this case. Hello Tua, hello Davide. Yeah, for some reason we had some issue in this YouTube thingy, but I think if you refresh, it should work okay. If you just refresh the claim shift official / live, I think it should work okay. So let me try to recompile. But one thing I want to do tonight is the roll animation. Okay, so I think that in a super good way, but and it's pretty fast, so maybe it's not the best way to see it. Maybe we can just slow it down a bit. But the idea, let me see if he does any special moves or anything. I slow it down the speed. Okay, that is the roll. You see, so these kind of rolls, I think they were in many games like Dark Souls or other games, but I would like to have, this sort of escape roll, like you see now, is rolling at the back, right? It's rolling at the back. You may roll on the side. You may, do different things, but also he has some, he has the ability to load or to charge. Let's say to charge a hit, so that the more you charge it, the more you get, kind of power out of it. But I think the roll is the one that I'm most interested in, because I think combat is fun when you, now he's explaining a bunch of stuff we don't care about. Just wanted to see, combat. This game is awesome, by the way. I want to see, yeah, he rolls at the back. He always rolls at the back, but I think he can also roll at the side. And roll obviously at the front. It tends to roll always at the back. And it seems to be a kind of a back roll, right? It seems that is, let me see it again. I mean, it's not turning. He's just rolling at the back. Yes, he's walking backward. In our case, we are walking. There are two different ways you can set up movement, right? One is that the character is always facing the direction that you are pressing with your keys, and the other one is that is always facing your mouse position, your camera position, so that you can effectively walk backward. In our case, we will never walk backward. I don't know if you have a preference. I don't know if you have a preference on one or the other, but I think I like it the way we have it set up now. Basically, if I press the S key now, you see my character turns. If I press the W key now, so he's always facing the direction, so he's never walking backward, right? And if I go to the side, it's working. So I think is more fluent. Is more fluent. You know, I don't think that walking sideways has any benefit for anyone. I don't know. I think walking sideways is a nice concept, but I don't think that at the end is very handy. You know, I think you just want your. I mean, like this is much simpler in terms of interaction with the keyboard or with a controller. So I feel is easier. Okay, let me just check if my change of 2 meters did any. Hello, Uncle Tusky. Hey. No, I was just proving. I was just explaining the way I see the role. And God of War is an insane game, so yeah, it's a good inspiration anyway. So if I attack this guy, right? Now I have to make myself vulnerable and debug the NPC, otherwise it will not follow me. Okay, now it should stop at a distance of about 2 meters. Yes, it does. Now the problem is that I don't know if at this distance is able to hit. Maybe 2 meters is too much, huh? Maybe we can do 1 meter. I don't know what you think, but 2 meters. Anyway, we can tweak that value. You see, it's stopping exactly at 2 meters, but I think it's a bit far from a kind of a melee range, so we can maybe change it to. We can change it to 1.5 meters, 1 meter. Okay, but anyway, just to know that we have the ability to do it. Okay, which is what we need. Now, I will. So if I try to have a proper combat now, apart from the tech animation, which sucks, and I know, and it's not my fault. I could, you know, try to attack him, run away. Try to attack him, run away. In this case, I did it too quick, so I was not able to attack. I can try to go back, attack, and so on. But when he comes close to me, you know, it would be nice if I could evade somehow. I mean, the only way I can evade is running away at the moment, or running in circle around him like this. But I need. I mean, I would like to have a way to avoid an incoming hit. Okay, and then we will have to see how to do this check. But at least I want to have, you know, the animation to do it. And so this is where the keyboard setup comes into play, right? And we need to discuss a bit together and decide a bit together how to do it. We need to decide together how to do it. So I think we need to discuss this. Okay, so you need to follow me for a second. So at the moment we have. Can I have a picture of a keyboard? That would be the easiest for me. Let me see if I can. Very nice. Let me take a screenshot of this. And I don't think we need. Do we need numpad? No, I don't think we need it. I think it's okay. So I mean, I'm not speaking controller now, I'm speaking only keyboard, right? But so at the moment we have, and obviously the player will be able to change whatever he wants, right? But we have, oops, I don't know if I'll be able to draw properly yet. Maybe I can do this and it will be a bit easier. We can have W. Why this thing is not working? If I do polygon, it's not actually doing polygon. Okay, I have to click all my way through. Why I didn't take the D? No idea. Can I fill it? Maybe it's easier. Ah, yes. Thank you. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's a bit easier. Can I choose a color that doesn't destroy? A color that doesn't destroy the white. You have to choose a color which is darker. Okay, the darker it is, the less it destroys the white. Okay, perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Okay, so what I wanted to say is that now we have, now we have this thing for movement. Let's say for normal movement. So normal movement meaning just forward, backward, and such, right? Then then we have tab, right? We have tab for combat mode. Now the point is that when we go combat mode, so this one is combat mode, right? When we go combat mode, the kind of the keyboard setup I think may change a bit. So you may be able to do different stuff when you are in combat mode, right? So combat mode on or off. So this is how it works already today. Okay, so you press tab, you enter combat mode. I mean, today unfortunately you don't see it in the game because our new animations are not yet supporting combat mode, which is okay, not very nice, but basically the difference, you see that the mouse is going away. So when I enter combat mode, my mouse disappears, and apart from this guy that is trying to follow me in a creepy way, if I press the left button of the mouse, I attack, right? I basically attack. And then you see on the top left that there is a small widget, cooldown of 2 seconds that is telling you when you can attack again. Okay. Then if I want to do anything now, I like clicking on the UI, I cannot. I can just look around and move with my mouse. Now if I want to go back, I press tab again, and now my mouse is free, and so I'm not anymore in combat mode, and I can go and interact with a UI or whatever. So I think this, I don't know if you like this concept of combat mode, but at the moment I like it. So I think what I'm thinking is that maybe we need we need two of these screens, one for combat mode, one not for combat mode, right? Maybe this thing is too big, huh? But I think if I shrink it, considering it's paint, it will destroy it. Well, not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And we are not when we are not in combat mode, right? So so this is combat mode off, and 22, and this is combat mode. Okay, and this is combat mode on, and obviously they will do. Oh, let me save this thing because I think it will become something. It will become a kind of an important asset. let's say a real keyboard. It's not really a mission, but a real keyboard. Well, it's not just keyboard because there's also the mouse, but it's okay. You understand what I mean. Controls maybe is better, but so when we are in combat mode off, my left mouse button is basically just interacting with the UI. So I can open window, close window, whatever, right? My right mouse button, I have no idea what it does. Probably nothing. Well, it's used to interact. Okay, I think the interaction may work also if I'm in combat mode. Yeah, she's a bit stupid. I think we should remove this because I don't have any more control of my... Yeah. So the right mouse button is the context menu, right? Is the context menu based on what I'm clicking. The scrolling wheel is the zoom, right? So I can zoom in and out. I think it's the same in combat mode, by the way. But we may decide, for example, in combat mode is switching weapons or something. And then, you know, okay, I mean, the left, the mouse movement, so the X and Y, you know, X and Y of the mouse is just moving the camera. So it's just the camera movement, okay? UI interact. And it's actually also selection though. It's also UI interact plus selection because I can select a character. So bad. Cannot do it. I cannot do this. Just the right sides. Okay, now the question for you is, in combat mode, I mean, this is still movement, obviously. So in combat mode, is the same. I mean, this one in theory should go here. Should go, you know, it's a bit stupid, but should go here and here. I mean, both modes have that tab working as combat mode on off. So actually, should be combat mode off, you know. But anyway, now for example, the space bar, and this is where this thing starts to be a bit tricky. Okay. Because, for example, I would like, and this is what I'm thinking since some days in the background of my mind, I would like the space bar to... Okay, space bar is jump, okay? When you are out of combat mode, it's definitely jump. But I think that, for example, the roll, so rolling, the avoidance, I think it's better if it's the space bar at that point. The only problem is that it means that when we are in combat mode, our space bar will be roll, and then something like double space bar will be jump. I know it sounds a bit weird to you, okay? I know it sounds a bit weird. But if you think about it, when you are in combat mode, it's not that you are jumping a lot. I mean, you will not jump a lot when you are in combat mode. You are basically what you want to do. You want an easy way to dodge, right? To roll on the side. Now, we can do it in different ways. We can do it by double tapping A to roll on the left, double tapping D to roll on the right, double tapping. But double tapping is very annoying. I think double tapping is so annoying. I really don't like. It's not fluent enough. It's not smooth enough. While spacebar is beautiful because spacebar is just sitting on your thumb and is always there. Is always there. So and maybe you can have just a double space. I don't know if it's possible, but I think it is. To have a kind of a double space bar for jump, or to change the jump, or to use another key. But another key. What do you think? Another key for roll, or another key for jump. Let's say that the roll is perfect on the spacebar. The problem is that then you have that you cannot jump. Or you say that you cannot jump while in combat. I mean, you may crouch, but then what do? You attack while in... stepping up because the animation is a standing animation. So whenever I click to attack, it stands up and attack. I don't know, it feels a bit stupid to me. I mean, everyone wants to jump with a spacebar. Or we do alt jump, but I think alt jump is very annoying. I mean, I'm trying it on my keyboard, but it's kind of stupid to have jump spacebar. Or we do always, or we do roll alt. Maybe we do roll alt and fuck it. My mouse went crazy. Maybe spacebar is always jump. And we just say that roll is alt. Okay? Just kind of alternate. I mean, it's like a... I think it's not bad. I think we are not using alt for anything. Oh, why I'm doing this? I think we can try alt, which is the roll function. So the evade function, right? So you are evading. So let me try just if I can. I mean, the spacebar will be 1,000,000 times easier, but the alt is kind of okay. At the moment, alt is toggling between. Actually, we are using it. It's toggling between walk and run. You see, is a toggle between walk and run. So because now in the new animation we have walk, run, and sprint. So we have 3 different speed, right? Hold to run and single press to roll back step. Alt to roll. But then we need another key to switch modes. Okay, let's try to put the roll in and see what happens. Okay, because that's the task of today. And then we will decide the key. This guy will follow me forever, by the way. He'll never stop following me. So how to put the roll in game? Well, first of all, we need an animation, and the good news is that we have it, because I searched it and I found it, and I know, and I have it already. So that's the good part. Yeah, alt is a bit awkward. Alt is not very easy to reach. I mean, depending how proficient you are with a keyboard, like if you are really geek gamer, I think you can reach any key on the keyboard in 1 millisecond. But say the average player, alt is a bit annoying. I mean, you can use it with your thumb, right? I use it with my thumb, but I mean, it's not something you want to use continuously. But anyway, I think the player will set up his keyboard, because actually in Unreal it's very easy. You go under input, you have here like jump, interact, select object, target, walk, blah 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 blah, and you just select a key. So we will have a setup like this. So everything will be changeable anyway, so you can set it as you want. But I just wanted to think, the more natural design. So let's go back to our roll animation. So I have a roll animation that I think I ported already to some character. I think the Yankee. I don't remember. Let me search for roll. Yeah, the Yankee. Let's port it also to. Is this the right one or no? I don't remember if this one is the one. I don't remember if this one is the one. But I think so. Because I found a bunch of roll animations. And there were some which were pretty bad, like the good thing is that the way our character moves, we will never need the roll back, roll left, roll right. No, we will always have only roll forward, right? Because our character is always facing the direction it's moving. So, which is another big decision, by the way, is another big decision. But I think I use this one. This roll forward is the one. I think it is the one. Then we had other ones like left, right, in place. Wow, like this one is a bit fast, but like this one is a roll, but it's like a million kilometers roll. I don't know which kind of roll is it. Look at that. I mean, it's like more of a jump out of an explosion than a jump, to avoid something. It's like if it jumps away from an explosion. So this one definitely is not good. So yeah, I think the one that I selected is good. Now I would like to put it on the cran just because it's easier. So let me try to take this Enki roll forward, and it's pretty easy actually. You just click on retarget, duplicate animation asset and retarget. You select the cran skeleton, and incredibly enough, is done. Insane. This thing is insane. Okay, so it's done. So I just cut it and copy it to our cran folder. I would say I put it under animations, under ALS. I think I can put it here. Did you copy it or no? I lost it. What happened? Wait a second. No, I think he moved it. Roll? No? What the hell? Boys, I cut it off. Should I do it again? I will do it again. But in theory, NKM roll forward, right? Yes, there is a mistake in waiting, but don't worry about it. Okay, I will do it again, but it's weird. They should have created. I did like this, right? I did CRAN retarget. I see it. What is it? I put it in the main directory. Okay, fine. That's why. So let me delete this one. Is it? He put it in the main directory for whatever reason. It was confusing. Okay, so I will put it here inside ALS. I will say move here. So now we should have. Now we should have our roll animation somewhere here. Looks okay. I mean, for a CRAN, it looks a bit too quick, but that maybe we can I mean, now if we want, we may also add a backward one, but I don't know how to use it and when to use it. Considering our character is always facing the direction we are walking, I don't know how we can have a back roll. I mean, or we have a specific key. Or we have a specific key which is like Alt plus Shift and does the back roll. I don't know, but it seems to start to be very complex, you know. So this one we just rename it to CRAN roll forward. Now what I want to do, I wanted to associate it to a key. The problem is that at the moment we have so many keys assigned. That is insane, I tell you. It's insane. We have so many keys assigned. If I go under my character blueprint, we are using, because we also have shortcuts for what is it? Under not here, but here. If I go under character blueprint, there is a specific tab dedicated to keyboard. And mouse and keyboard input, this one. And we have a million things here. Now, all of this are referring to the settings that you see here in the project settings under input, right? So maybe, and I think this is the best way. We should never use a specific key inside of this. Unfortunately, I think we do sometimes. If I search, there are some hard-coded, yes, like for example, there is left mouse button, which is hard-coded, while it should not be. It should, instead of this, we should use something like select. Left mouse, this one, select object, right? Let me try select object, input action event select object. So this is exactly the same with the difference that is not hard coded anymore. Now I have to be sure that I'm not making any mistakes, otherwise we will be in trouble. But this means that if we change in the project settings the left mouse button to something else, it will automatically change, right? But I think we have so many here because I did a bit of a mess. Like we have T, for example, look at this. We have T, which was just a test, but it was just to test the addition of the robe on top of the character. I think this one we can leave it at the moment. We have Y, which is remove robe. These two. We have K. What is this thing? Ask NPC to move. These are all tests that I was doing. Ask NPC to move. It does a flip flop. We're asking the NPC to move to a certain location. Okay, this one I think this one we don't need anymore. Let's just remove it. Want to remove it, or we want to keep? Let's just remove. I don't think we need to have NPC move on command like this. I mean, it's nice. You could use it for a pet, but you could use it for a pet. I mean, I will remove the key assignment. I will just circle all of this as a test, and I would like to keep a comment. I will say test move NPC delete me. I will call it just delete me test move NPC, because this one is not really something that we want to have in the long run. This was another test. Change decal on shield. There was another key. U N test post process. There are so many tests here. What is this? Get all actor or class for each loop. Get object name, print string, set enable. I have no idea what are these. But these are all tests. Let me group them all together. Also, this one L is spawning a. Oops. I did something bad. Okay, now it's moving. All these tests I should move away. Right mouse, play animation. What is this thing? First person. Also, this one right mouse button I think is not a good idea. Right mouse button should also be. I think we have a context menu for right mouse button, right? Mouse. Why is it called mouse X? It should be called mouse. It should be called left mouse button. Why we have mouse X under attack? Mouse X. Mouse X is the coordinate is wrong. Attack is left mouse button. And then we need. By the way, is there a way to reorder this thing? Is no. So if you mess up, okay. Maybe they are alphabetically ordered. No, they are not. Okay. So for example, here we have two events which are set to the left mouse button: select object and attack. Okay, but it's fine. So I would like to have a right mouse button, which is the context menu. So I think I need to add a new one, right? Because there is none of this. So I'm adding a new one. I will call it context menu, and this one will be right mouse button. And so here in my PS character, instead of using this, I can say action event context menu, and so now it's properly set up. Okay, because we don't want to have any R coding. If we have all this R coding, it becomes a mess. I mean, I'm fine with the R coding on the tests, but not on the standard stuff. Camera cycle. There is a lot of camera stuff. Escape, focus chat. Then here are all the windows, okay? And then there is more here. Character movement. I think this one is not used anymore. So this character movement. This character movement. Move forward, move backward, move right, move left. And jump. I think all of this is overridden by the new system. Move forward. Let me see, because unfortunately ALS has its own stuff. So on top of all those controls, we also have this other graph, which is this one, which is the advanced locomotion graph, and you can see here there is a bunch of other stuff like all the debug, like the tab is used for debug. Yeah, maybe the debug I can just move it to shift something like shift tab, shift T. Let's move all the debug to shift something so we are not messing up with our also all this one RB. Let's do all shift R, shift B, shift V, shift M, so they are not, you know, they are not colliding with our other control. But now you see here, for example, I have input axis move forward is executing this. Now why I still have on the other side input axis move forward, I should not have it, right? Input axis, why this is done twice then? Is this done twice? What happens if I disconnect this? Also the jump is not. Let me disconnect this because I think we have a duplication. It's done 2 times in 2 different graphs. Yeah, it's weird there is nothing on reordering, right? Yeah, sorry, I see your comment a bit late, but it was a comment of 2-3 minutes ago. But yes, I mean you can rewrite it all the time, you know, but it's a bit annoying that it doesn't sort, or anyway at least allow you to move the position of the items, because they can really become a lot. Okay, just want to see if disconnecting my thingies still allow my character to move. Yes, it does. But my character is not jumping anymore. So the movement is fine, but the jump was actually doing something. Why? So all of this is not needed. All of this is not needed. Input access photo, because all this is managed by ALS. So I think we can actually remove it. But this one of jump we need. Why is not in ALS? There is no jump here. There is no jump. What? Well, actually, there is a jump. I know where is he. He's not in this graph. There is input action jump. Okay, here it is. Input action jump. Input action jump. What is it? Input action is spacebar. So in theory it should work, but it didn't. Why? So this one was just doing jump and stop jumping, okay? Now we removed it, and the other one is not taking precedence for some reason. I don't know if you have 2 times the same, but this one is here, so in theory it should work. Standing or crouching. If he's standing, he's switching the player root motion. What is this thing doing? Is playing anim root motion. True if we are playing the anim root motion right now. No idea what is it. If it's false, let's print something. Cannot jump. Don't understand why there is Unreal 4, yes. I mean, it's Unreal 4, not the latest version, but fairly recent. I'm a bit confused by this thing. If I have input jump, you know, if I have an event 2 times, does it get executed 2 times? Like I have first time jump, and then I have it also in this other graph, and then I have also in this other graph, and is print string second time jump. What happens? Find computer. What is this? Do you think it will execute twice, or it will just execute one of the two? I mean, input jump is mapped to spacebar, but I'm just trying to understand if I have if I'm calling the same event twice, if the engine is anyway executing both graphs, or is just executing the first one. I have no idea. We'll discover in 10 seconds from now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so if I jump, first time jump, second jump. Okay, so it's actually executing both, but he's saying cannot jump. So the ALS is actually failing in jumping. So at the moment we are not using the jump from ALS, because I think he arrives here and it says I'm sorry, I'm not playing the anim root motion. What is this thing? He's playing anim root motion. We have exactly the same problem, no? In the role, where is the role? Give me the role. In the role we have I think this guy is moving, no? I mean, you see? I mean, it's covering ground. I mean, it's not a roll in place. By the way, I want a roll in place, no? Do I want a roll in place? I think so. I mean, I don't know. Do we want a roll in place? Do we want him to roll where he is and move him by a certain distance by code? Or do we want the animation? But I don't know where is the root. I mean, in this animation, is the root staying? This is exactly what we are discussing, eh? Enable root motion. Look at this. If this is on, it will allow extraction of root motion. So if I remove this, what happens? It's exactly the same. If I save it, root motion lock. The root bond will be locked to that position when extracting root motion. Force root lock. Oh shit, force root lock seems a lot. I was expecting him to stand still, but it's not the case. It's not doing it. Whatever I change here is not doing any difference, by the way. Whatever I change, if I save and everything. Now the problem is that I didn't look at this animation from the side. I was only looking at it from the front, and I thought it was kind of rolling in place, but actually it's moving by 1 kilometer. It's moving so much. It's moving by like 5 meters or so. Well, I think it can be okay, but it depends on what he has. If there is a wall, will it collide or what? Use normalized root motion. I don't know, boys, but we can try. We can try to see if I roll into a wall, if it will stop or not. But I was hoping my roll animation was in place, but it's not. Okay. Let me see if we have another roll animation in place. I think I had something in place, right? There are some that are in place, like roll left in place. But it is the one that is jumping like I don't like. It's jumping in a way that I don't like. I was liking this more, but it's not in place. So this is taken from another project that I have downloaded. Let me see if I can find. No, there is no in place. They are all PT. Like, is this one moving? Like, this one is not moving by much. Why the forward is moving so much? I don't know if there is a simple way to remove distance from an animation, because actually, it's doing a lot of stuff, but okay. For now, I mean, we will create another animation. Doing a roll animation is not a problem. I mean, I think, but this one was very nice. That's why I wanted to use this, because it looked nice. But we may, we may just whatever. Okay. Let's say that so the problem is that our advanced locomotion is not jumping if there is this check, which is playing an en route motion. If the value is false, it will not jump. You see? It will not jump. We just say cannot jump and GG. Why? Why is this thing? I mean, there is a theory for sure, but I don't know what is the theory. So I don't know. At the moment, I will remove it. I know it's not the best, but I cannot do anything else. At the moment, I will remove it, and I will see why there was this thing. Why? And I think I can remove my single jump now. Stop jumping, yes, when it's released. Yeah, that's fine. So that's the same as I have in my mouse and keyboard. So I think this one I can just delete. And this means that all this block can be deleted because it's now empty. So we simplified a bit the thing. Now let's try to put the roll in, okay? Yeah, fail to save because everything is open. So to put the roll in, how do we do it? How do we do it, boys? Are you checking for root animation before it actually jumping to activate the root animation? There is a piece of code that I took from Advanced Locomotion System, so it should be working, you know. It should be fine because it's release stuff. But yes, I mean the point is that we are checking something, and we decide if we want to jump or not. That is how the code was, and is an official plugin. So I assume that is correct, but in our case, it's not working. Now, if it's exactly the original one, or I did mess up it a bit, I don't know. But I don't think I added something like this, you know. I think this macro was here already before me. Okay, so so what do we do? We say that for now. Let's just put a key or something. Let's just do. All these keys are busy, so let's do another one, which will be roll. Okay, roll, and we associate it to what? To R. Let's associate it to R, like the alti of Dota. Like the alti of Dota. So for me, it's very easy to press it, I have to say. R. So I think we have R already somewhere else, but let me see. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so if we do interface interaction, this can be small. If we do, let's put it, these are all tests. So also this robe thingy, it was a test originally. So let's just move it like in an impossible place like here, because it's not a real movement, you know. So here we can have a roll, and we just need to have our input action roll, which is mapped to R at the moment. So what I want to do when I press it, I want to play. The problem is that here I'm client side. Here I'm client side. So I need to do the same. I need to play. I think I need to use. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is under my character or is under ALS? I think it's under ALS. Is under events. Because at the end I have to play an animation montage, you know. But come on. I guess it's not called this way. Exactly, like this one, for example. It is playing networked animation montage, so is calling server side. So I think if I call this, should be fine. If I call play montage networked, it should be fine. This is in the animation blueprint. There is a problem. There is a problem. There is a problem. I need, because here I'm in the character animation. Sorry, in the character blueprint. In the character blueprint, I don't know yet which character am I. So here the only thing I can do, I can make an override. I can make an empty. Yeah, this is what I need to do. I need to do the same. I did this already. I did it on the play animation. 1 second, I have to find out no, not this one. Yes, this one. Exactly this one. So display animation is a function which is then overridden by the subclasses. Is it showing here somewhere or no? This is a function, right? Why is not in this list? Why I'm confused? Play is actually a play animation. Why I didn't see it, maybe. Why these are not alphabetically ordered as well? It's so annoying. Oh my god. Can I reorder this? No. GG. Why they are not in alphabetical order? Play animation, there it is. Okay, it's just a function, just a normal function. Then I override. So, can we use the same play animation, or do we need to have a roll animation? I think we can have just play animation, eh? We can just have play animation. Play animation, well, it's a bit more than playing an animation though, because I also need to actually, for example, let's assume I'm freezed. I'm freezed by a spell, right? If I'm freezed by a spell, I will not be able to roll. So actually, it's not just calling the animation blueprint and asking it to play, but it's really calling server side, and then if that check is okay, calling this. So yeah, so it's similar as, is the same thing that we did when we attack. It's exactly the same. So when we attack, we left click, but in reality, nothing happens until the server says that everything is okay. So if I go on left click, attack and target select, function rename me please, that's a good one. You see, player clicks on attack, and we do a request attack. Yeah, so we need to do this. We need to do this. And then the request attack is actually going server side. Is going to request attack on my PS character, for sure. And the server is validating if I can attack or not, and then it's coming back. So we have to do the same for roll. Do we want to do it? Yes, we want to do it, right? Are we sure we will put roll in the game? I think we will, right? Are you confident we will? I think we will. Request attack. Request. It's not here. Is it my player controller? Yeah, exactly. So it's in the player controller. Player controller calls user manager handle attack, and then it does the things, and then when this is done, and then it does a 1.1 million things, including checking if the character is freezed. Well, in the middle of the roll, I think we just take the spell. You know? If he's a target spell, he will catch me anyway. So no check needed. If he's an area of effect spell, so like a fireball, then obviously I can dodge it by rolling. So my position has to change. Right? So that's why I was saying that I think that the animation should be in place and we should move the character by code, unless the Unreal Engine guys are already smart and some of those settings that we were seeing before is doing exactly that, which is probably the case, by the way, because these people are very smart, so maybe they did it already, because everyone has that problem. So then he does attack someone, blah blah blah, set combat mode, bim bim bim, attacker, bim bom bam. And then he does attack. I think attack is the one that is actually playing the animation, right? I think so. I just want to see how it goes back, but I think it's just one blueprint callable event. Decide when we want to do the attack animation. There it is, receive attack animation. You see? So this one is a blueprint implementable event which goes back. Okay, fine. We need to do exactly the same for roll. We need to do exactly the same trip for roll. Do we want to do it? Yes, we want to do it. Yes, we want to do it. Why I'm asking myself? Because there is quite a bit to do, but yeah, we want to do it. I need yeah, I want to do it. So where do we start? We start in the input, and we start by adding in the player controller a new event, right? So ask server to roll. By the way, the same will be done by NPCs. The same, because the NPC can roll as well to evade. But so this will be a new. I don't know if it will be a new scripting or it will just be done automatically based on a percentage or whatever. But we will see. You don't want to be able to attack move while you are in the middle of the animation for the roll. Yeah, but I think it's lasting so little that you can even attack. But yeah, in theory, we should disable a few things. For example, jumping or crouching. Right? So you don't want to jump or crouch while you are rolling already. How to do that? Well, what is a player state? What is a player state? Because if it's a player state, because we have the concept of player state. Like player state is, for example, dead, alive, jumping. So we have some concept of player states. Now, I don't know if we want to have the roll as a state, but in theory should. In theory should. In theory should. So this will be called request roll PC. PC stands for player controller, and I just name it this way, otherwise it's a mess. And this will be run on server, reliable, and this one will call the function that doesn't exist yet, but it will exist soon, which is request role. So request role will be like request attack, very similar. So we can put it in combat, why not? We can put it here, and this will be a new function which would be request role. And the stance, we don't care. Do we care about the stance? I don't think so. It's just, for now, it's just a simple function. It's just a role. And similarly to request attack, right? Similar to request attack, we will have request role. And we can print out the fact that we are requesting a role, which is fine. We are passing this. Now here, I don't know if you want to put all the logic directly here for now. I think it's okay. I think at the moment I don't have, specific logic to put on, but I'm sure we will have. So add logic of when we can roll or not, like character is frozen, something like that. So let's assume that we have this that we will define someday, right? And then the server says yes, you can roll. So at this point, the only thing we want to do, we want to call a function client side, which will be blueprint implementable event, which I think we can put here exactly like this, similar to this one, which will be receive role confirmation. I don't know how to call it. We'll have no parameters because we are inside a player controller, so we know already who is requesting it, and is myself. I'm not rolling someone else, I'm rolling myself. So I know it sounds weird, but exactly what it is. And so I don't need to specify the target or anything else. Okay, so it is fine. So if I compile this, no, wait, I'm missing a piece. So here we will have our receive role confirmation, which should be called on the player control in the same way. And I think that's it. Now here I need, if I compile this, hopefully it's doing hot reload now because it's what I need. I need a compilation with hot reload to have the function in the editor immediately. I'm not sure it will do. Why is not typing hot reload anymore? Is not recognizing my editor. Open. Maybe it's not. One failed. Why one failed? Yeah, because the editor is open. I don't know why it's not doing hot reload anymore. It's okay. We can save everything, close it, and reopen it. Luckily, it's fairly quick. Okay, now it's closed. Why is it not doing hot reload anymore? Maybe I disabled it somehow. Or is not recognizing the editor. Maybe. Okay, succeeded. So now that we have compiled those thingies, we should have two new functions that we can call. We will have to figure this out, okay? So the logic for rolling, I don't know it yet, but We will figure it out. We will decide what is the. I think you should just check for movement. I mean, if you are not freeze, then a few other things. If you're not overweight, I think we already have a check like can move. There is probably a function already somewhere in the code that is just checking if you can move. So now so going back to our character blueprint. Where was I? Roll, okay. Input action roll. So if pressed, right? We should have a roll something. We should have, if it compiled properly, it doesn't, huh? Because I need to click on this thing, yeah. Compile. I don't know why sometimes the editor is not sensing, because I think it's the other DLL, but I don't know, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. So I have to press the compile button there to have the changes from C++ to the editor. Other times I don't. I didn't get why. I mean, pressing the button for me is easy. I just click it, but it would be nice to understand why and when I have to press it. We have a problem. Oh, there's a PS combat request roll. Nice. Okay, we have it. You think I'm compiling the wrong version? That's why. I mean, versus configuration like plain sheet editor wins development, not debug game or something else. I don't know. I'm using what I'm using. I'm using debug game editor. But yeah, it could be the difference between this and that. So let's say I click on roll, okay? I click on roll, we go server side, and are we going server side? No, we're not going server side. We need to go server side. The first thing we need to do is to go server side. Why is not here? Very strange. It was here, right? We need to go server side, otherwise we never work, boys. Boys. Sorry, I'm making something stupid. I did it already, right? We did it 1 second ago. I know, but I did it on the animation blueprint. I'm confused now. Wait a second. Magic and combat. Okay. No. Mouse input. Yes. Input action select. Please, why this is not order in freaking. Okay, input action select. So the first thing is doing request attack. Exactly. So we need to do the same thing. The problem is that this one is jumping inside the plane shift controller. Which is okay. In fact, we have request roll PC. Okay, perfect. So we need to do, from here, here. From our input action roll, right? From our input action roll, we need to call request roll PC. The only problem is that it needs the player controller as a target, and so the way to do it is pretty simple. input select is just to do this. Yes. So a bit of copy paste, but I think it's easier to avoid mistakes. So get controller, get plane exactly. So he ensured that the current character, which actually is PS character blueprint, which in theory could be also an NPC or a pet or anything else, is a planeship player controller. So if it's a planeship player controller, it continues, so it requests the role to the server. Now it goes inside my planeship player controller and is requesting it. Now this one finally can call request role on my on myself, because it's actually on player controller. So this one is really going server side, executing the small piece of code that we have here, which is not much, I have to say, and then it's calling back received role confirmation. Okay, and receive role confirmation, we received it inside. We receive it here. We receive it here. Exactly. We receive it here server side, because here we are still on the server side, and we have no parameters, which I think is fine. And we will have, just to keep the same, exactly, we will have something like this. Exactly. We will have something like this. Let's call it on client. So we keep the same. Why the return is not in the same box? Yeah, it is. It is in the same box. It is in the same box. So I think we can do it. I think we can do it here as well. So this one will generate. So I need to add a new event. Custom event. We will be receive role confirmation on client. I know it's a bit annoying name, but it's better to have it than not. This one is run on owning client and reliable. Has no parameters, right? This one we'll just call that receive role confirmation on client. So here we are moving from server to client again, right? Here we are on our client, and on the client, what we want to do, okay, finally we receive confirmation from the server that we can roll. And so on the client, the only thing we want to do, we want to call display montage something. No, it was like play network something, no? Play network montage. The problem is that, by the way, it's a bit stupid to do it this way now that I think about it, because we go back to the server again. It's not really needed, because anyway the role will be seen by everyone, right? So it's obviously multicast anyway. So in theory, we could, after we have this answer and after we arrive here, instead of doing this, right, I could just call, because I can stay server side. Why not? I mean, I can stay server side. I don't need this. I can stay server side and call my network montage something and just play my role. Now, do I want, because it is doing the multicast. The thing that I didn't fully understand is why I need because in theory I could just do play animation and then select multicast, and would be enough, right? I don't know. I still don't understand fully the difference between animation and montage. I mean, I understand that in the montage you can do a lot more, like having multiple animations and selecting the start of a specific animation and all of that. But in this case, in this case, let me just try to add an event and say receive role multicast. I mean, it's not really receive, but anyway, it should be like play. I think it should be play role multicast. Can we change it, please? So if I do multicast, this will be executed on all clients, so all clients will see it. So I can get rid of this and I can just say play role multicast. Right? Here I'm still server side. I try to execute on all the clients, and then on all the clients I can just do play animation at that point. Play animation. Now it needs, where am I? I'm in the player controller. So obviously I need a mesh. I need a skeletal mesh. So if I do get mesh from here, I think it will never work, right? It will never work. I need my pawn. So I need to get my pawn for sure. Get controlled pawn, and then from the pawn I have a chance to get my mesh. No. Can I do it in context? There was a get mesh, but was not in context. Why not? Because the pawn is not a character? What do you mean? Really? Sorry, I'm just copy pasting because it's easier. I cast it to PS character. Okay, because you are not sure that it's a character. I mean, I think you are, but why if I do this is not going to the previous position? Okay. That's not good. That's not good. Okay. So I will just cast this to PS character blueprint. So just to ensure that the pawn that I'm controlling is a PS character blueprint. I mean, there is 100% chance of success, by the way. Let me see if now get mesh gets into the. Still not. Straight. Anyway. Why it was not in the context menu? Why get mesh was not in the context menu? I don't know. So in here we say that we want to play the. Okay, it is where we have the issue. Because no, here we need to call the play role or something like that. There will be specific character by character, or the play animation passing in an animation state, right? Because here we are in the player control. Player control is generic for all the characters. Now we need one which is specific. So we said the same way of play animation, but play animation was where? Where was the play animation? Play animation. Play animation was definitely not here. Play animation was on character blueprint. Yes, play animation was on character blueprint. Now can we move? What is this animation class? This one is the following: attack, combat, die, cast it, idle, blah blah blah, grid, stand, chop, 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 chop. Yeah, I think we can use this list. You know, I think this list is good. Why not? We can just add roll and we will have it. No, I think we can. No, the problem is where is that? I think it should be under data. Data, 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 data. Animation class? Yes. So do we add a new value? Yes. How do I add a new value? New. Boom. Roll. Save. Yes. Okay. So we added a new animation thing. We added a new value. So at this point we can call the same function, which is good, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I don't want it to, call a new thingy. I just wanted to call the same. So at this point we can use play animation. We can use play animation. So from here we just do, play animation, this time in context. Yes, this one is not the one we want, this one has no sense, and we do this, and here we select roll. Okay, so we decide to play the roll animation. There is already multicast, so in theory all the clients should see my roll animation. In theory the NPC will not really see the animation, but the NPC will, if we decide, now we have to decide how to move the character during the roll. Okay, and this is something that I don't know yet, but we have to figure out. But assuming that the character is moving during the roll, the NPC will see the character farther away and he will start to chase. And if he was attacking, he will fail the attack. Right? So I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Do we want to print something like playing roll animation just for fun? The play node animation will break your character animation. You will need to use montage on top of existing animation class. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, it will take over completely, right? If I do play animation, it will. But you mean that it will not go back to the idle stage, right? Yeah, this happened to me already a few times. That when if I just do play animation, is not going back to the idle position. It's just standing in T position after that. Could be, yes. Could be. Could be. But actually my play animation, let me remember what, because this play animation is actually doing exactly what you said. So this play animation is actually doing, if I go now under my cran character, because that's generic for every possible character, right? So that's generic. And it's empty. The animation is empty, just saying I'm playing something. But then inside my character blueprint, no, inside my inside my character blueprint, there is. We have to clean up a bit the advanced locomotion because it's messing up my. directory so much. If we go, come on, can I do it? Yes, easy. If I go here there should be a play animation, right? And if you see, the play animation is actually playing montages. I mean, it's called play animation. I could rename it. Okay, I can rename it play animation montage. Maybe it's more clear. But it's actually playing an animation montage, right? So what we need to do, boys, we need to copy this one, put it here, and we need to create a new animation montage for the role, right? It's kind of a lot of work for one animation, but it's okay. Where do I have my montages? I have them here or where? Yeah, I have them all here. Well, the important one I have here. Where is for example, this one? Cran Anim Montage. Cran Anim Montage. You see? So it's actually in this directory. Okay. So we can select the cran, and we will have to do it for each. This animation thing is a bit annoying, I have to say. I mean, also when you are, I mean, if you are working if you are working one character, it's super easy. But if you are having we have 20 different characters, I mean, it's such a mess. I mean, for each one you have to create 1 million files. My issue is that I cannot subclass easily the animation blueprint, because inside the animation blueprint we have 99% of the same code replicated to all the character. The only thing that changes is the name of the animation, which is maybe cran something, I don't know, cran attack instead of alien attack, but that's the only difference. So if I could make it parametric somehow and have the animation blueprint as a parent of all the other animation blueprints, I don't know, if you could share the animation blueprints between different characters and make it parametric, I think would be. But I searched a bit the internet for that, and it seems it's not doable. It seems mainly for animations you need any file super specific to the hero, to the character, which is pretty bad, which is very bad. Cran and in montage row. Okay, so we create this thingy. And we have to set it as full body, otherwise it doesn't work. You don't ask me why, but that was the idea. We create a new slot. No, what was it? I don't remember. New montage section. No, new slot. No, we don't need a new slot. We need a new. We need a. We need to put our cran roll this one inside of this. Whoop, whoop. It's actually moving forward anyway, so I don't know what will happen in game, but I want to see what happens when I have a wall in front of me. Your friend already has one parent class animation instance as most of the code, and he just subclassed that. Okay, yeah, that's probably what we will have to do, because as it is now, is a mess. I mean, every time I need to. I mean, it's not really doable. This montage session is called default. I think I can use default now. Should I just use default and that's it? Because at the moment, it's so bad to have this. is so bad. Like all this code here is duplicated between all the characters and is exactly identical. The only difference is what I select here, because here I select Cran anim montage attack, here I select Cran anim montage roll, and then in the other character I select like Ilian anim montage roll, Ilian anim montage attack. So that's the only difference, but everything in this graph should be identical between all the characters, exactly identical. And I don't want to replicate it, but I think there is no way. I think there is no other way. I mean, apart from the one that you say, maybe this animation montage, this animation instance. That to me seems to be the only way. Okay, so I don't know if all the loop is working, but it should be working, right? Should I do something else? No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. So did we map it to a key? Did we map it to a key? Yes, we did for sure. I just don't remember which one. The roll, we map it to R. Okay, we map it to R. So when I press R, we will briefly go server side, doing a check if we can do it, which at the moment is automatically true, but anyway, we have the place in the code where we can put the check in the future. Then going back and multicasting the roll animation to everyone. And I don't know if my character is moving or not. I mean, moving in space, you know, in coordinates. That I have no idea. This root animation is still a bit of a mystery to me. But we will have to figure it out. Because it's exactly what the guide was telling us, you know. But why is looping? And I cannot do anything else. Well, I can jump actually. Wow, jumping while rolling is insane. It looks like a ninja. But I cannot go back anymore. I cannot go left anymore. I cannot go anywhere anymore. It's like my character is completely stuck in doing this forever. Yeah, but the good news is that it worked. The good news is that it worked. Why is stuck forever? Okay, thank you. That could be useful if we figure out. So the question is, why this thing is looping? I don't think I asked him to loop. Okay, let's try to disable this root motion, which I think is what is messing up with our life. Where was that? Root motion? No. No, it's in the animation itself, right? It's in the animation itself. So let me remove. So by the way, is there a loop thing here? No. I never remember where this loop thing is. I mean, if the loop is looping by itself or not. But anyway, let's try to remove for a second this enable root motion, okay? And save it again and just see what happens. I mean, here in the visually, at least in the editor, there is no difference. I was expecting the character to roll in place, but that was the wrong assumption. Really wrong assumption. So let me see if we start it again now. I don't know why it's looping, you know. It's like going in that state forever. But that is not a state, it's just a request for rolling one time, because I do on a press of a key, and I press that key only once. So it's just going to, it's like the attack, right? It's like the attack, it's built the same way. So I think the animation is different, but let me try now. Let me try to do it on a wall so that it should collide in theory. Fuck, it goes through like a boss. But now I can move. Oh my god, oh my god, this I mean, it's a bit weird. I mean, I can move. I can. I mean, when he's getting back, when he's restarting the animation, he's getting the right position. Like, if I jump up here... Oh my god, I'm totally a ninja. Okay, something is weird with the animation not in place. That's for sure. We need an animation in place, I think. But it's pretty cool, I like it. The problem is that it does it forever. I mean, it's never stopping. Okay, boys. I think I have to go, but I think I will figure out why is like rolling like this. I think we crashed the server or something. Wow. Yeah, we crashed the server. Why it crashed? No idea, but we can figure it out very easily. Actually crashed on something else. It crashed on handle perception in player in range. Okay. I don't know. I mean, was not caused by this. Was some other mistakes in other parts of it. But anyway, so what we did, we let's say created the structure that is needed for the role to function. We did some reasoning on the keyboard, and now we want to trigger the role. At the moment, the role is on R, okay, which can also be okay. I don't know, but is anyway configurable. We cleaned up a bit the settings, the input here in the project settings. So it's a bit. So we uncluttered a bit the code. We just created the structure needed for the server to execute the role, and multicast it to all the other players. The only problem is that this animation is not exactly what we want. We probably want to have an animation in place, or we need to fiddle with this, you know, with these parameters to make it understand that we want it in place, and or make a new animation. I don't know. But for sure, at the moment, what I see is that when I mean, my feeling from the keyboard was that when it was rolling, I was like in this position, right, and it was rolling like this, and so the character in theory is here, but it was not here. It was still in the original position, and so at the next roll, or when I moved, if I move a bit, I was feeling like it was moving from here, and then from here, and then from here, and then it was continuously like rolling, but at the end, the basic movement from the server side was exactly what I was doing with my keyboard, you know, the normal movement. So the animation is going forward, but the actual character, the actual position of my hero is not, right? And it is something that we need to solve, because obviously we want the hero to be in another position, right? We want the hero to be in another position. So I will figure that out, so don't worry. I mean, maybe I will do it offline, so it's not too long for you to watch, but we'll do it offline, and if I figure it out, I will let you know. And we will continue from there. But this guy is rolling, boys. You want to see another guy rolling just for fun? Yeah, we have it here. Where is the other guy rolling? We have the Yankee rolling. The only problem of the Yankee, I saw him already, is that there is a mistake in the weight of his tail. You see? There is a problem in the mesh. I mean, this is a problem in the actual character, but we need just to fix it in Blender. That's why we'll fix it in Blender. But I think it's pretty cool, no? I think it looks nice. The Yankee rolling looks very, very nice. It's really like an Yankee should roll, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So we have to find force root lock. And if this thingy can just keep my character in place, it would be super good. But I don't think it's doable. I think we have to change the animation. So I think we have to change the animation. Okay, boys. With that said, I think I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Yeah. See you, boys.